Hello. Good morning again. I have made two content videos today, and so I'm wearing the same thing, same hairdo, everything. Sometimes I make a couple, so I have them. I will be launching one content video of my swap fabrics, opening them up, and then I will be doing this one. So this is the Ponder quilt pattern. It is a 5-yard pattern. So this is from AOK Patterns, and it uses 5 yards. It says additional fabric needed to complete the quilt is 1 yard for binding and 4 yards for backing. So on my live, I did out myself and show you some of this. I laid this out on my design wall for you, but I didn't show you how I did actual tutorial on how I put it together. So in the pattern, and it's not my pattern, so I can't give you any measurements, I just cut everything to size, and the 3 yards that I'm using for this pattern is these like squares. They have like the little quilt block and flowers and chickens, and I had 3 colorways. So I had the blue, the pink, and the yellow. I mixed it up. Then the second fabric I used was this blue floral. The third one I used is this yellow. And the fourth one I used is this red. Now, generally in these patterns, I'm noticing that the 5th yard fabric, the 5th 1 yard cut is for the borders. I am still figuring out the borders, so that will be a surprise on the unveiling. So let's start with our focus, which is our largest, and this pattern says to use your largest print for the big block. So I have that, and then I am going to take what I call like little border pieces, and I will be putting these on the side. So let's go for it. You know what I didn't do? I didn't plug in my iron. So let me do that. So I have my iron ready and my clapper ready. All right. I'm going down, and I am going to sew now 1/4 inch on both sides. Well, not both sides. What am I saying? I'm so sorry. I'm going to admit I'm a little off today. I'm going to sew 1/4 inch on the one side of this border. I don't know why I said both sides. Sometimes it's been a little bit of a rough morning. My honey and I think we are coming down with something, probably just a cold. It's nothing that's like I'm knocked out at all. I'm just feeling worn out and tired. That's it. No energy. And I'm usually full of energy. So I am chain piecing. Oh, you know what? You can't even see what's going on down here. I'm sorry. Wow. Here we go. That's important. So I put my piece, my little borderish piece on the side. And this is what I'm sewing 1/4 inch on just the one side. And now I'm going to go to the other side and put this piece on the other side and stitch 1/4 of an inch. So now this makes it so that both sides have a border. Not that you're sewing both sides, but that both sides have a border piece. But each having, I'm sorry, I'm probably over talking it, making it more complicated. So we grab our next one and we are chain piecing to make this go quicker. Now, since I have done 3/4 of the quilt, I really, right, 3/4, yep, I'm looking at it. We are doing 1/4 of the quilt together. Going to, I have one of these, what is this called? This is called a Blade Saver by Purple Hobbies. So I have one of these. And I'm going to come over here to where I have my iron. I'm sorry, normally I could stick this up here, but and I am pressing this out. And I don't necessarily need the clapper for this. And so I'll put that there. You know what? I'm gonna put this iron right here. Right now it's the easiest. And let's see, can you see I have this? Oh, you know what? Let's do this. This is removable. Why don't we just do this? This might be the best. I don't edit anything, so we're just going as if you're sewing with me in my room. I will put the iron in here. I made this little ironing board. I have a video on it. It uses a peel and stick Bonash iron board. I bought the ironing board cover by accident. I didn't know it was a peel and stick. And but look, it came out great because my rack here had this little metal, I mean not metal, wooden board, and then I just covered it. See? Go find that video. Let's see if I can find it and link it to this. But I usually have it on here and iron right on here, but because it's removable, why not iron like this? And this way you guys see what I'm doing. And first I have to set the seam. And then all right. So we have this and we have that. The next is the next border piece, which is right here, and we are going to sew that through. Run that right through the machine. we're gonna put the next one. So right now we're making the bottom row of the quilt. Right now. So what is everyone up to? You can let me know, excuse me, in the comments. How's everybody feeling? What are you all working on? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, I'm just going to snip that. I'm leaving that there because that's what I would do in real life. So now I have the one side. I'm going to put another border piece on the other side right here and line everything up and go for it. You know, this pattern lends itself to panels, I feel. I actually have a panel in mind, but some of you all wanted to see me sew with my poppy cotton, and that is what I'm doing. And I need to, because I need to just not have it sit on the shelf and not do anything and just look pretty. I have to maybe enjoy it in a quilt. So, and it's made me so happy to sew with it. I mean, I was always looking over it and I'm happy to see it, but it's actually brought so much joy just to actually sew with the fabric. Yeah, so that's great. Also, I need to start using stuff I have here because I need to rein the spending in. Rein that spending. A little bit on the spending freeze here. And there's nothing wrong with that because there is plenty in this room that inspire me, as well as everybody sending me stuff. That's inspiring too, and I've been using it and it's been great. And I have now a couple of projects to think about and work on. One is a purple one and one is the green. Now that this is done, this block is done. They don't call it a unit, but they just, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let me look what they might call it when you are doing this. Like Fabric Cafe calls things units. Nope. Oh, block A. So that's block A. That's block A. So that's what they call it, block A. And now we are going to, let me move stuff around here. It's now a little bit on a slant, but it's okay. And I'm going to set my seam. Actually, move this over just a bit. I forget that you can't stand that. I'm so used to irons that you could stand. So actually Panasonic sent me this iron. It's called for quilting. It just says, the iron just says for quilting. It's a cordless iron. They sent me this iron because I actually had 2 other cordless Panasonic irons, and within 3 years, they're not cheap, and they really they wore out. They wore out, let's put it that way. And when I went to the International Quilt Festival, they had a booth there. I explained to them my situation. They had asked me if I had any documentation, and what's lovely now is when you order things online, it's not like before you had to have like a paper receipt. Everything's on your phone because everything is a email confirmation. So I showed them my email confirmations, and even though they were out of warranty, because they give you only 1 year for these irons, they did see that I bought 2 irons in 3 years, and they sent me this iron for free. Plus, they probably thought, what in the world? This lady's a YouTuber. She's probably going to bash us. And I'm not bashing it because I really do like it. And I know now there's other irons on the market, but when I first bought these, they weren't. These were the only irons. And I like it. I use it for my long arm if I need to steam something out really quick. and for this, because it's very portable. But the one complaint I have, and I think it's of all irons, I don't think it has anything to do with this one, but cordless irons in general, it doesn't get really, really hot like my other one. I have a corded version of this, and that sucker gets hot, and I love it. But I wore that one out too, but that one was like 15 years old. It was really old. I got very good life out of that. Now my daughter gave me her cast off. It's a Sunbeam, just a cheap Sunbeam iron. It's actually pink, and it gets really hot. It does its job. It's not, you know, I don't think, maybe it's a $20 iron, if that, but it's doing the job right now, because I actually have to use that one to do all my quilting, because I'm not my quilting, you know, my piecing, because like I said, this doesn't necessarily get so blazing hot. I mean, this is good for right here. But when I'm ironing yards and yards of fabric, especially for the backings of my long arm, I want it to be super hot with a lot of steam and get those creases out. So now we're gonna go to do block B and C. So block B is this block right here. Oh, I have two of them. All right, I have two of those, and these little blocks as well. So we are going to do a flip and stitch. According to them, you would take this, you would draw a line, you would put this here, and you would sew on the line. I have this wonderful tape, and I have this Sew Steady glider, grid glider, and it already has a line for me to follow. So I took this line and extended it with this Cluck Cluck. Is it Cluck Cluck sew? I don't know what it is actually. It's this roll of tape like this. I have lots of it, but lately they've been sending it in a lot of subscription boxes. So I have that. So I'm just going to use that. It works pretty good. You just have to set your needle on center, because I had my needle set on 1/4 inch. And I just do a hair over this way, so that when I flip this, excuse me, like that, it gives me the allowance for that thread. I hope that made sense. So this is what it looks like. And then when I flip it back, it should match. So I'm going to come on over here, take these two, set the seam, and I also do this one. Now this is a good time to use my clapper that I got, because that will flatten the seam even better. So here we go. Let me grab my scissors. I could take my clapper off, put my clapper back on that one, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away. And I save all my little squares, look right here, so that the kiddos in school can enjoy. And now I'm going to do the same thing diagonally using my guide here. Again, I guess the most accurate would be for you to draw the line and just sew right next to that line. Just like one thread next to that line to go over. Trim that. Put this in. So I know there's some machines that have like a laser line, and then you just have to follow the laser line. My machine is is too old to have that. And it's totally fine. This is a previously loved machine I bought, and it is wonderful. And here we go. I'm pressing that, put the flapper right on there. Wait a little bit, and you will get something that looks like that. And then that would be the back. Then there's another piece, and one of the pieces, am I saying that right? Let's see. Yes. Okay. Then there's a square that looks like this right here. And you were going to sew that 1/4 inch, which I did, and then press it upwards so that it looks like that. Then with this, we're going to take off again the 1/4 inch right here and right here. And once we have this unit and put this little rectangle to it, we're going to go to the other side of it and put one of these right here. And we are going to sew 1/4 inch, so I have to change my needle. And you should be going right over it. We are going to set it, oops, we're going to set the seam, and we are pressing in to this. So you could see both things are pressed in, and I have points as well. Now I'm going to take my other unit and take this giant rectangle, and we are going to put this on top of the giant rectangle here, and we are going to sew 1/4 inch again. Look how fast. So according to this, we're 22 minutes in, and we have made 1/4 of the quilt. This quilt goes fast. So it's a really good quilt if you need a quilt fast. And then I have this unit. So now we have this unit. So let's see what they call these. Not units, they call them blocks. This is block A. This is block B. And this here is block C. Now let's go over to the design wall. I'm going to move everything away. And we're going to work on the bottom and set the bottom, and then we'll show you everything. So the next step is placing our blocks. And I will be placing this block here. And, right? Am I placing? No, I'm sorry. This block does not go there. This block goes here. And this block will go here. And this block will go here. And how I figured this out? Well, I decided to go by the diagonals. I'll show you in a second. So now we have this block, B block, that gets placed right into here. And this block here gets placed right into this section. So here we go. That was... So how I have done it is, if you notice, where is it? Here, yellow, yellow, yellow. I just kind of did diagonals, just kind of mixed it up, and it just kind of did that on its own. So now what did is I sewed this yesterday. And this is the one strip. And in the pattern, it gives you directions, written directions, and pictures. And it tells you how many of these units you need. And I do believe that's what they call these. And you need 3. So I had 1, 2, 3. And then you put these in. Now what I will be doing is I would be taking this, putting it over, sewing a 1/4 inch, and then do each and every single one of them. And then I would take, after I'm done with this row, I would put this row up to the top. So you know what? Why don't we do one row together? Why don't we? Why not? Why not? It's going to be a longer video, but why not? So I'm going to take, hold on if I could find them. Here's my pins. You don't have to have these. Sometimes this just helps me keep things straight. So being that this isn't such a huge quilt, it's not like a big deal. But here we go. We're going to do it this way. Then we know what is up. 2 and 3. 4 and 5. Now this is row 1, right? Block 1. This is row 2. This is row 3, but block 1. And then I just do 2, 3, going all the way across. That's how I would number it. But just for right now, we are going to move all this over out of the way. I am going to put this away, and this, and I'm going to grab my rows here, my 1 row, and I'm going to grab my second, since we're just going to work on this part of the quilt. I'm going to put it right here, bring you over, hello, and down. Sorry if I went too fast. I know sometimes that bring you up just a hair. So now I have my first row, block 1 and row 1 and block 1, and here's number 2. So this keeps me straight, and everything should line up. So at this moment in the directions, you want to square everything before you start. And I have found that these come out pretty perfect. Go. And there is a diagram, so you just follow the diagram too if you want. And now I'm going to take 3, and I have the pin 3 and the pin 4, and I'm going to put that next and line all that up. This machine is a lot quieter than my other machine. And then I have one more block and we'll just leave that there. And now I have 1, 2, and now I'm going to find block 3, which is this. And I'm going to put that on top. Of course, if you are a pinner, feel free to go ahead and pin. Please. Do what makes you happy. Quilting should be bringing you joy. If it's not bringing you joy, maybe step away from it for a little bit and come back to it later on that day. Because if you step away from it for a long time, it's hard to get back into the groove of things. At least that's what I find for me. Or throw it in the UFO pile for another day of working on UFOs. So I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, and block 5 is right here. So block 5 will come right on over. Now there is no pressing instructions for this pattern, so I just wing it. Basically, I just been pressing everything out for right now. We'll see if it gets me in trouble here. Sometimes you realize when you're putting the quilt together the issues that may arise. So I have my first row, it's all sewn, and now I have my row 2 right here, and at this point I don't iron, but I do pin. So I'm going to come in here and find where the intersection is. What I mean by that is where the seam, where this box, this square lines up to this right here. And then I will make sure that my seams are opposing so that they nest. And then I will come over here and do the same. And I will try to make sure that all my seams, so in this case, all my seams are going from here to here, are going that way. So taking a little bit extra time to pin. As you see, I don't pin everything, but for me, there's a time and place, and this is the time. So now I'm gonna come over here. I have pinned that. I come over and it lined up beautifully. So I stick a pin here, and then I stick a pin halfway. And if something was to be a little long, it should ease in. So I come here, go right to the center. And I go ahead and pin. And this lined up perfect. So I throw a pin at the end. Again, find the center. Now there's a little wobble in this. So I throw the pin in, right, and mush it down. Let's try that again. So there's a pin here, mush this down. I don't know how else to explain it. I just pat it down, find the center. Now, when I'm sewing, since I know there's a little bit of a ripple here, not much, like maybe 1/8 of an inch, but it is there. I am now gonna sew, because I know this piece is a little bit longer by maybe an eighth, not sure why, towards that end, but it'll get sucked in the sewing. I don't know, it's magic. I can't explain it. I would love to open this table completely, but it doesn't quite fit in this room. This table is meant for a room that's like, I swear, 600 square feet, if not larger. Definitely not for this size. So I have this little ridge here that bothers me sometimes. My fabric gets caught in there. Just adjust. Prior to having my long arm, I used to have this set up this way, facing that way. And I had this whole table open. But I can no longer do that. And here it is. Here is my first row. So I would do this 1, 2, and like that 3 times. So we're gonna put that right back on the design wall. And let me do that really quick. And let me slowly bring you over. Let's see, it's getting stuck. And up. And there is our first row. We have the row 1 and our, I call it second row, but it really is like sashing. And then now I can work on my next rows. And I'll be working on that, but I'm leaving you all to have something to think about. Maybe you would like to buy the pattern and make this for yourself. Again, I'm thinking like a big panel can go in here. I actually ordered a poppy cotton chicken pattern. So this company makes patterns and they're known for this poppy cotton chicken. And I did order it. I just got an email confirmation that it went out yesterday. So my thought was I was going to make the poppy cotton chicken and stick it into here because it is this size block. But I couldn't wait because I wanted to finish this quilt. So that's how I ended up with this focal fabric. But you know, this pattern lends itself to different things. I always find, same thing with Fabric Cafe patterns. Some of their patterns lends themselves to put something else in their big blocks. So I hope this inspired someone today. And I hope you have enjoyed your day. I hope you're warm or cold or whatever you need. I hope you find it and take care of yourself. Pass it forward. Please like, subscribe. Share my videos because by sharing my videos, you share my love of quilting to the world and it helps me out tremendously. I am so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers right now. I don't know, I'm like maybe at 915 as of this morning. So I want to thank each and one of you down deep in my heart. Thank you all. Without you, I couldn't have done this. And I think I am only maybe 200-300 watch hours from being monetized, which will open the world to a whole nother level. I mean, I don't know anything about monetizing, honestly, but every penny counts. I used to work another job and I had decided this year not to do that job and to venture on this YouTube adventure instead, because as much as I love, you know, that other job, it was working for an elderly lady and I loved it. I loved it. And when I say elderly, I'm talking about she was in her late 90s, loved it. I just used to go every day after school and have coffee and tea with her and enjoy and spend time and talk to her. And I loved it. But you know, now she's living with her family, has stepped in, and it's a lovely thing. It really is. And when I decided to, and it's kind of was my pass it forward when I had decided to find something else to do, I decided why not teach my passion, which is quilting. I mean, I love cooking too, but quilting is my other passion. So thank you everyone who supports me in my venture. I wish you a fabulous day. Bye.